Do you remember what it was like for you at the world premiere of The Danish Girl?
I had my mum on my left and Eddie on the right, and we were all holding hands because Eddie and I hadn't seen the final version there at the premiere, and it's always a quite terrifying thing.
Hi, Alicia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to see you.
Well, I'm so happy to be here.
2015 was such a crazy year for you because you had 5 or so movies that came out, but they were movies that you shot over a 3.5-year period, but some of them didn't come out for a long time. That must have been so strange for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it ended up being very much a coincidence that they all came out at the same time. And it was funny, I had my mum visiting over the Golden Globes weekend, and she said, you know, I had friends, you know, back home before the beginning of last year, because they were like, yeah, we know that Alicia have been filming and working, but they were like, we really haven't seen anything. What has she actually been doing?
Hasn't really been working out.
No, it's like, how did that work? Yeah, that was kind of just how it happened.
You mentioned your mother. Your mother is a stage actress. Is she one of your main inspirations for what you're doing now?
She was the one who introduced me to the whole world of theatre and acting, and in a very just natural way, because I was there watching her out in the wings when I grew up, and it was just a very natural thing.
What has her reaction been to all of the great performances you've had in the last year, but particularly to your role as Gerda in The Danish Girl?
It was one of those times. I mean, I love to talk to my parents about what I do, but I don't think I've ever had, and they would never push anything, but they were like, how's it going with, did you go to that audition, and how did it go? And yeah, we would definitely think that would be a good one to do.
Thanks for the stamp of approval.
I was like, thanks. I was like, I don't have it yet.
Well, I'm glad they approved of the decision, and I'm glad they liked it. I want to take a look at what I think is the most powerful scene of you and Eddie Redmayne in The Danish Girl. This is a moment where your character Gerda has come back from an art show, a very important moment in her life, and it's quite an upsetting moment and quite a powerful moment. So let's take a look and talk about it. The Danish Girl.
You should have been there.
How could I? Look at me.
Not everything is about you.
What did you do in the moments leading up to the minute that you shot this to really get into the place that you needed to be?
It's funny, I just remember I stood there in a corner and I was really nervous, and actually I remember that it helped. But then I remember that it's interesting how you build up that kind of, those nerves, and then it's a wonderful thing when you make those scenes, and it was not every take, but 1 or 2, when suddenly you're so in it, and Eddie was so wonderful. I think this was one of the scenes when I remember that I was like, that is Lily standing in front of me. And it was the thing of seeing what was so obvious and what she knew was Lily in front of her, and also have to express her truth emotionally, which was, I miss my husband. And the guilt within that, knowing that that is not the truth, and how can I say that to my person that I love, who's now truly, obviously, Lily.
Well, let's see how it continues.
I need to see Einar.
Let me help, please.
I need my husband. Can you get him?
I can't.
I need to talk to my husband. I need to hold my husband. I need him. Can't you just get him? Can you at least try?
Did this scene take a lot out of you?
I think I went and slept after this. When you do those scenes, it kind of is that thing of weighing up to that day doing it, because you can't, it's always the nervous thing of not knowing if it's gonna come.
Right.
And that is like the day, it was like, what if it just doesn't work? Because you act a lot, but I must say, when it comes to that kind of height of emotion, it just becomes very physical. So when you reach a certain point, you don't know what is gonna happen anymore. It was a director that I worked with last year who asked me, it's like, when did you cry the last time? And I was like, well, I did it in a role, but he was like, no, you. And it's that thing that I think a lot of people are very embarrassed to cry in public or in front of even people that you know or care about. And and when it actually kind of holds together. But I do remember, it's like 3 years ago, and I was by myself. It was one thing that happened in my life, and I was watching Simpsons. It was the weirdest thing. It was a thing that I had held, and it just came out. And then it's like a child, it's like so much energy that comes out. And then afterwards, I'm like, I was so tired. So yeah, I think I had a lunch and went up and had a little nap.
For people who have seen the whole film, they know that eventually Gerda is the ultimate support for Lily, someone who completely supports her in all of her life decisions. Who is that person in your life?
My mom, my dad, my closest 2-3 friends. I had a friend who called me and just like, I thought let's just FaceTime. And she was like, we don't need to chat. And she just told me to like have the screen on. And she was like, I just think you just need to hang out for a bit. And in the end, that was like the biggest little gift, that she just knew that we should just like hang out a bit.
Well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and to celebrate your amazing accomplishments in this movie. So congratulations, and it's great to see you.
Well, thank you.
And if you have not seen The Danish Girl, be sure to get your tickets on Fandango and watch it so you can appreciate all the amazing things that Alicia did. And thanks so much for watching Fandango Frontrunners.